Call the meeting to order for the November 26, 2019 meeting of the Old Town Planning Board. And I didn't see any minutes in there.
No, you did not.
Okay, so we can't approve them. Moving on, site plan application for 190 Brunswick Street, B&L Properties LLC for the rebuilding of a 14-unit apartment building, tax map 26, lot 123, case number 1544. And did the applicant have a presentation, or?
We have no presentation. Oscar, they're working with Dave, and you have all the blue blueprints.
Yes.
So basically, that's our presentation.
Well, okay, well, we appreciate your coming in beforehand and discussing things with us. That made it nice to address concerns that people might have had about traffic and the lots and all of that. And Dave, you're comfortable that he's addressed all of those?
Yes.
I didn't see anything that I could, when I looked at my.
No, they went through the whole criteria list, answered everything, which is, you'll see your findings of facts are based upon. The original concerns were setback encroachments, which they've taken care of. The combining of the two units so that we're not sharing parking from one parcel to another, it's all one parcel. Also, to keep the queuing from the Center Street area, that'll all be an exit only off from Center Street, with entering and exiting off from Brunswick. What was one of the other? Oh, the stormwater. When they did the calculations of the stormwater, because they're gonna pick up the narrow strip right at the very back of the building. It's approximately, probably 8 feet by the length of the building of new impervious. But they have done some proposed underground, not underground, but level spreaders along the back where it drains down to the Shirley Street side of the property.
It's not essentially changing the drainage at all.
No.
From what it was there before,
No.
so.
I think he says that inside here, it doesn't change it.
Yeah, it's so negligible that they covered your BMPs during construction and after to get it loamed and seeded. Dust control. They went through the utilities. It's going to be serviced by all public utilities. Whether they come off from Center Street or Brunswick, all the utilities are there. Exterior lighting, there's going to be some wall packs that light the parking areas, and then over the doors, the entranceways will be just residential lighting for the entrances. It's not in a shoreline zone, there's no hazardous materials. Groundwater protection, because it's serviced by public utilities, there's not a septic designed for a 14-unit building, which would be large. So overall, I think they've met all the criteria.
Well,
It'll be nice to see the big field up
yeah,
with the building on it again.
yeah, sure will. No, we're looking forward to it.
The building consists of, there's 2 units on the first floor with mechanical and laundry rooms. You'll have access from the lower level parking, stairwells to take you up to the first level on Brunswick Street. Then there are 6 units on each floor above that. There's 2 two-bedroom and 1 one-bedroom on each side, and they're just stacked one above the other.
So from what I could see, it seems like the outline of the building is going to be very similar to what was there before.
Yeah, it's gonna have a little bit more architectural.
Right, yeah. It's a beautiful location. And so what we try to do is, because we love the city of Old Town, we've been here all our lives, so we try to make it that it's a positive spot. And when you go by, it looks nice. So we did extra work to make sure it looks nice, because it is a nice location.
It is.
And we want to try to bring up the city and try to do the best we can for the city.
Well,
You know,
we're certainly,
for the landscape of the city.
well, we certainly welcome your development there, and we certainly wish you success. Any concerns or questions from anybody on the board? No one in the audience, obviously. I should probably read through the findings of facts.
That would be good.
Okay, utilization of the site, the plan for the development reflects the natural capabilities of the site. It's in the R2 general resident zoning, which allows for this type of use. Vehicular access to and from the development is safe and convenient. It's been well thought out. Ingress and egress will be onto Brunswick Street via one 24-foot curb cut with more than adequate sight distance, and there is a 12-foot wide egress-only drive from the rear of the property onto Center Street. The site plan provides for a system of pedestrian ways within the development. The pedestrian circulation for the site will be from the parking areas and across the front of the building, the rear of the building. All levels of the building may be reached by both entrances. The site is designed so that post-development stormwater runoff does not exceed pre-development stormwater runoff. It's essentially the same. There's no applicable impervious area being proposed. The project proposes to utilize all BMPs that are applicable to assure that any erosion created during the construction of the building will be kept on the site, especially after any rain event. There is adequate water supply, the city water. City sewage is, as it was before, will be utilized. Utilities will be coming from the overhead lines on either Center or Brunswick Street to the site. The landscape will be preserved in its natural state insofar as practicable by minimizing tree removal, disturbance, and compaction of soil and water. Existing landscape to be utilized with new grass to be planted. The property is not located within a shoreland or resource protection zone. It will be served by the municipal sewer. There's no wetlands near the property. There will be no hazardous, special, or radioactive materials generated through the course of the construction or normal residential activities. And as we said, it's not in the shoreland zone. The applicant has demonstrated that they have the key financial and technical capability, capacity to carry out the project. It's one of many completed by the applicant, and there's no public infrastructure required for the project, thus no risk to the city. The contractor during construction will be required to dispose of all debris. Dumpsters will be provided for daily business operation. There's no known historical significance to the site other than the fact that the building has been there for many, many years, and we appreciate that it will be replaced with a similar structure. And there's not within a floodplain. Exterior lighting has been described in the plan. The parking areas will be illuminated by wall packs as well as the entrances of the buildings. Screening is provided by existing natural vegetation and dumpster screening, and there will be no outdoor sales. So having read through the findings of facts, which have been addressed in both the preliminary meetings and here tonight, to the satisfaction of the code enforcement officer and the members of the board, I would invite a motion to approve the site plan application.
I'll make a motion that we approve the site plan application for 190 Brunswick Street, BML Properties LLC, for the rebuilding of a 14-unit apartment building, tax map 26, lot 123, case number 1544.
We have motion. Do we have a second? Sandra seconds it. Any further discussion? All in favor? None opposed? Thank you very much. We very much appreciate your development, and we wish you luck.
Well, thank you for all the work that you're doing. You know, and it's a great city, and it's just getting better.
Well, you're a big part of that, and we appreciate it, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And everybody have a great
Happy Thanksgiving.
event. Likewise, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, everybody.
We can't let him get away.
I know. I need to get out of here before I get cornered, right?
No. Grab
Get him to join the planning board.
Seriously, if you're interested in being on the
We have
planning
an
board,
opening.
we have an august member here who is going to a bigger and higher office, and we'd love to entertain your application.
Well, I thank you very much I appreciate that. When is the change happen? When's your?
This is my last
This
meeting.
is his last
This is
meeting.
your last meeting? Is
Yeah.
that quick?
You've got
Okay.
10 minutes.
I guess I was thinking it wasn't gonna be till next year.
I'll give you a call. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
it's fine, we're just kidding. You know, if you are interested, we'd love to have you, but
I appreciate
we
that.
won't
Well,
kidnap
it's
you.
it's an honor that you even consider, you even consider.
Well, we've got a great board, and having another engineer on would be great.
Well, thank
It
you.
keeps us, keeps us current.
A lot of details go into.
Yes, there are. We appreciate, but obviously, we're just kidding. If you
Oh, I
are
know.
interested, we'd love to have you, so.
Well, I do appreciate
Well,
it.
thank you.
All right, well, yeah, you guys all have a great night.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving to you, man.
Likewise.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Well, under item 4, under old business, well, we've got some old business here, it's sitting right next to me.
I'm very old.
Okay. And certainly, I mean, when I came onto the planning board, Tim was already here, and he brought me along and then promptly left. So I got selected for chairman, and I've been doing it ever since, but I certainly appreciated working with you on the planning board, Tim. You've been our editor and our conscience, and we wish you luck on the council, and,
I think we have a great board. It's been a lot of
yeah,
fun and interesting, and I think
well,
hopefully the next step will be as fun.
well,
And the good news, on the council, you don't have to go through the expansion of the next Juniper Ridge next thing.
That's
oh,
good.
great. That's why Steve ran away screaming, right?
Yes.
So,
I'd also like to chime in. Going back, because I have to do a lot of research, I go back through a lot of the old planning board stuff, and Tim's name's
oh,
been
yeah.
in there a long time.
Well, he was there when the first issue over well, it was a sludge dump then. You were on the planning board then, and it was, that was quite contentious. We had to have the meeting in the gymnasium, so.
It's been close to 20 years. I don't know whether it's been,
I
took
was
a
gonna ask you
hiatus for a
that.
year or two. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
How
been
long has
close
it
to
been?
20.
Oh, yeah, well, I think it's over that, isn't it? When, I don't know, I can't
It's
even
probably
remember.
close to
When I think
30
I
years,
started-
right.
I started in '96, I think.
Just skip a decade, it sounds better.
It was either 89 or 90 I started.
Yeah, it's a long time.
No, but I've appreciated him on the board, and I'm looking forward to working with him on the council, and
Like you said, hopefully it'll be as fun as this.
Well, yeah,
I think it's pretty low key.
I think that'll be
Most part.
pretty wild. Hopefully you have no chair throwing
Huh?
events.
What's that?
Paper throwing,
Yes,
you handled that
absolutely.
well. So.
the city manager and staff try to do everything we can for the council and have every question answered, and
Well, good.
No
Well,
pressure for
we'll
you,
look
Dave.
forward to seeing you in the council meetings, and
Great.
And,
Thank you.
again, I mean, for what it's worth, from all of us, thank you very much you've been it's been good to see you.
Well, Travis will take the engineering part
Oh,
anyways.
geez.
He can,
Okay.
he'll be a good engineer for this.
Good, well, I appreciate that, and we'll, anything else?
that's it.
Anything coming up?
That's what I know of right now. Somebody's kicking the tires at Tim Hortons building.
Good.
Don't know who it is or what they're proposing. They've been asking about traffic, whether there was a traffic study, and I went back and researched that. And when that was built, the board looked at it, and DOT grandfathered the 133 trips that they had, and Tim Hortons was adding another 47, so it didn't trip it, so that's all I know at this point in time.
Would that require approval from us?
Depends on what the use is. If it's just a restaurant for restaurant,
Yeah, if they,
but if they're looking at a change of use, that could change a lot of different aspects of the property, so.
okay, well,
More to come?
yeah,
But no, other than that, we're closing in on the Border Patrol building. And sheet rocking that, and
Great.
hopefully turn that over by the end of January.
Now, if there were some developers that came for the area that has been burnt out downtown, is that something that's also in kind, or is that something we have to talk about, or?
I think because it's a rebuild, be similar to what Mr. Labrie went.
Okay,
Yeah, I think we need to look at it.
okay.
It could be something that we have to really be concerned with parking or
Mhm. Be tougher though, because the parking is not there.
It is what it is.
Speaking of parking, where the dumpster is parked currently, has the city thought about getting rid of those parking spots in that lane?
Up here,
Yeah,
in front of Alex's,
yes,
actually, John Rulo was talking about that just the other day.
good,
Make that a kind of a slip turn lane.
yep, absolutely. Because it's always
may at
precarious when
times-
people park there
It
and
may at
there's a
times be
dumpster
able to be
there all the
utilized
time.
as a loading zone when Alex is putting
Right,
whatever into the building. And
right.
just a heads up, Main Street is going to be closed tomorrow morning after rush hour. I'm not quite sure what time, but they are going to allow rush hour to get through
Yeah.
for probably a period of about 4 hours.
Mhm.
They need a crane to load all the HVAC units onto the roof of
Yeah.
Alex's building.
Yeah,
Police are just gonna cordon it off, and they're hoping for less than 4 hours, but that'll get morning traffic through. It'll be opened up for evening traffic,
Mhm.
so it shouldn't be too difficult.
Is there a time frame on that building, just out of curiosity, for being completed?
I'd say sometime in February. Plumbing is all but done, HVAC is all but done, most of the walls are drywalled on one side. A lot of the work, excuse me, took weeks in the basement. It was sitting on all ledge, and they had to get all their underground plumbing. Electricians are getting ready to start.
good.
Just a odd question, the former Old Town Canoe Factory site, I knew that there had been some discussions about maybe moving some businesses.
Some of
if
these,
available over there.
we're still in conversation. That was just a preliminary meeting to let them know that there are other options and being shoehorned into that footprint.
Does the city, though, have any sort of a design or thought of how they want to structure that? I mean, would there be roads in the middle, or, I mean, is
The
there something
initial
on paper that we have to do?
Conceptual designs is the road, the driveway that now goes up in there, that would go in, and it was set up, it had several locations for 40,000 square foot office space here, and office space and retail, and, but that's still all conceptual, but I
So there's
still think
nothing-
you would see some kind of egress.
Okay, so there's nothing we have to get in place for that to be
At this point in
mini
time.
commercial park or something? Okay,
Not yet.
okay,
So the LLC had Sewell come up with a couple
all right, okay.
conceptual plans, but until, no sense coming here until it's something more
Right.
definite than just
I
a
see.
conceptual
Right.
plan.
Right.
The conceptuals are just to kind of,
But
Right,
it's-
I just wasn't sure if we had action on it, then a potential developer would say, oh, they do have this articulated out, and then, yeah, I can just come in and do.
what we have done, as you remember, we rezoned that for C1, which is downtown
Right,
zoning, so you could have retail or office first floor,
right.
residential second floor.
Okay.
I have done research on what the need for ADA compliance and elevators would be across the street. If you can offer like-kind services, one floor or another, that's not a big issue with an elevator. And it's not so much the ADA as it is the Fair Housing Act. If you have 4 more units above grade level, some of those have to be accessible, which would mean an elevator if you're gonna do like was currently there, residential and on the second 2 floors.
Makes sense.
So the thought was trying to have that area be one unified design concept, and
Mm-hmm.
not have 4
Separate
different
buildings. yeah,
Individual
makes sense. Yeah, makes sense,
Designs.
makes sense.
But we're still moving forward, we're gonna have many more meetings, see what people are interested in, and
So no Trader Joe's. So disappointed.
I don't know if you'll see one any further north
No.
than where they are.
Too far from their distribution. They have a policy about how far their
Yeah.
stores are from their major distribution hubs, so.
A lot of businesses, that's what they rely
Yeah,
on.
absolutely.
And how soon before, do you have any sort of a date feel for when the bridge is gonna be replaced up in Stillwater? And I know you've had public process.
We have had public meetings. Could-
10 years probably.
Could be out to 2021, is that one of the, or was that when it was going out to bid, 2021?
I thought that was when they were thinking
that's when the
about
job's
starting it.
Yeah.
Or is that the expectation for the potholes to really just
Oh,
open up?
they fixed those today,
I was on the bridge today. Okay.
this morning, about 10 o'clock, they fixed it.
I'm only asking because I know that we've talked in the past about the development next to the Maine National Bank. There was
Yep.
supposed to be, I don't know, some sort of truck stop or something. I've noticed this equipment parked on there for sale and such, but I didn't know if somebody had any development potential or thoughts or.
It's still Bob Foster's lot. He has bought Fred King's house. He tore one of the houses down, and he also owns the next, I think it's a 4-unit apartment building,
Yep.
maybe 2-unit.
Yep.
Through the DOT plans, they are still looking, that will be another access to that site. And I think when the time comes, you'll see those
So there's
dwellings.
nothing really of any consequence yet at all, okay.
No.
Just wondering.
Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
We're adjourned.
Glenna.
Sorry, I missed last meeting. I was in class.